In this video, we bring you a story that is difficult to tell, but one that demands to be heard. It's a story of courage, a cry for justice, and a painful look at an issue that continues to plague our most trusted institutions. A young woman has come forward with serious allegations of grooming and SA against her former pastor, Brandon McClure, of Bethesda Baptist Church in Clayton, North Carolina. This case has brought to light not only the specific allegations against McClure, but also the broader systemic issue of sexual misconduct within religious organizations, particularly the Southern Baptist Convention. The hashtags number This is the SBC and number SBC25 are a testament to the countless voices demanding change and accountability.
My name is Alina, and from the ages of 14 to 16, I was groomed by my youth pastor. Brandon McClure came into my life in 2017 when I was 14 years old. My old youth pastor and his wife had announced that they were leaving our church, and Brandon, a new church attendee, quickly offered to take over the role. I was close with my old youth pastor and his wife, so when Brandon, a single divorced man in his 30s, took over the role of youth pastor, I did not find it strange when he took an interest in getting to know me personally. At the time, I was a fragile teenager. I was struggling a lot in my life with depression, anxiety, self-harm, and many other trauma-related issues. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm also disabled, which played a big role in my struggles at the time. Now I know that Brandon likely thought these things made me an easier target. One of my closest friends at the time began coming to youth group with me. Brandon seemed to take a special interest in the both of us. I remember specifically him asking just us two to dinner. Again, we were 14-year-old girls and it was just the three of us. He wanted to get to know us, and it's clear to me now that he was establishing a groundwork of, I'm not like other adults, you can trust me. He swore in front of us and didn't seem to care when we swore too. He talked about sex openly and made funny jokes, and he listened to our angsty points of view as young teenagers. Soon enough, we were in contact with Brandon almost constantly. We were Snapchatting him, texting him, FaceTiming him, hanging out with him multiple times a week, sometimes in groups and sometimes not. One conversation early in our friendship that really stood out to me now is a late night FaceTime call that my friend and I had with Brandon. It was late, probably past midnight. Everyone in the house was asleep, but we were FaceTiming Brandon during a sleepover. Somehow, the conversation shifted to sex, as it often did with him. We were talking about oral sex, and my friend remarked that she had little to no gag reflex, while I have a high gag reflex. He went on to say that based on that information, my friend would be good at giving oral sex, while I probably would not be. He told me that I shouldn't worry though, that oral sex may not be a skill of mine because I have other assets that I could use to please a man, while he motioned and pushed his chest together. He discussed the graphic details of oral sex with us quite a while that night. The next event that stands out in my mind is one that really sticks with me because it made me feel very insecure about my body. For whatever reason, Brandon was telling us a story. I'm not sure who all was there within the youth group, but I know for sure that me and my friend were. It was about one of his sexual experiences as a teenager. He was telling us about a story of him hooking up with a girl when he was a teenager, and that he had performed oral sex on her. In his words, after that was over, it was her turn to do him. He told us that he took off her shirt, revealing her breasts, as she went to perform oral sex on him. At the sight of her breasts, he went soft because she had pepperoni nipples that he found repulsive. This statement stayed with me and made me feel insecure about my body and made me feel repulsive. Following the theme of talking about breasts, I also vividly recall another conversation we had surrounding the same topic. Brandon had a tendency to speak poorly of women and really tear down their bodies. I'm not sure what we were talking about that led to this specific conversation, but Brandon said something about fat girl boobs and how unappealing they were, or something to that effect. And me being an insecure teenager, I took that with me and I said, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have fat girl boobs. And I remember him looking me up and down and saying, well, don't worry, you definitely don't have fat girl boobs. And I was about 16 at the time. These are just a few examples of conversations that happen regularly and comments that were made about my body specifically, and very graphic sexual conversations that were had. This is just one small aspect of this story. The sexual side of the abuse is part of what really sticks with me, but Brandon also demeaned me and put me down for years of my life. Looking back now, I believe that he was punishing me for not being as susceptible to his advances. I'm one of 3 victims that I know of Brandon McClure. I am only speaking of my experience because I will not be speaking for anybody else. I don't feel right putting anybody else's experiences out there, but I will put mine out there. I have debated talking about this publicly for a long time. This is something that has sat with me for years, and I've taken actions behind closed doors, but that doesn't seem to be enough to stop Brandon. One person might see this, or hundreds of people might see this, I don't know, but please hear me when I say that this man is dangerous and that he is a serial predator. There's no such thing as the perfect victim, and for years I had such a complex thinking that I deserved this because of the person that I was at the time, and hear me say that you don't. I'm not perfect, I've never been perfect, and I've done things that I'm not proud of as well, but I, as a child, did not deserve to be put down and abused the way that I was by that man. And I cannot stand idly by and let him do the same thing to other people. To allow Brandon McClure to serve in a leadership position at a church is simply disgraceful. He should not be allowed to be a teacher. He should not be allowed to serve within a church because he is a predator. I will forever do what I can to stand up for victims. I know that what happened to me could have been so much worse. I can't even imagine the things that some other people go through. I was never raped. I was never physically assaulted, but this is where that heads. This is that pathology, and when we don't address these issues within the church and only perpetuate them, this is where it goes. Thank you to anybody who listened or shared this video. I want to do everything I can to prevent the perpetuation of abuse within the church, and I appreciate you listening and sharing. Again, last I knew, Brandon McClure is serving at Bethesda Baptist Church in Clayton, North Carolina. I emailed the pastor 2 different times telling him my story and going in depth with it, and he never responded to me. So I just want to get this out there and let everybody know that this is my truth, and I'm trying to help other people and prevent this from ever happening again. Thank you.
So, what is the church's side of the story? According to a statement on their website, Bethesda Baptist Church leadership received allegations in late 2024 concerning inappropriate speech by McClure towards a former student from several years prior. They state that they initially limited his role and eventually removed him from all leadership and teaching positions. Here is their statement. Important notice. June 6, 2025. We want to inform you of a situation that has been handled with prayer, care, and a commitment to integrity. In late 2024, our leadership team first received an allegation from someone outside our church concerning one of the men in our congregation who had been serving as an adult Bible study teacher. He had only been part of our church for a short time. The allegation included claims of inappropriate speech toward a former student several years ago, when she was a teenager and he was serving in a pastoral role at another church. While he has never served on staff or in a pastoral role here, we took the matter seriously. After receiving the allegations, we first limited him to supervised teaching roles with adult classes. We then brought the matter to the Council of Elders and removed him from his teaching responsibilities. We believe that those who serve in teaching roles must be held to a high standard. We took this matter seriously and inquired as to the validity of the allegations. Unequipped to make an official determination and out of a desire to protect the unity, integrity, and witness of our church, we will uphold the decision we made months ago to remove him from all leadership and teaching roles. We ask for your continued prayers for everyone involved. As always, our leadership team is available if you have questions or concerns. This story is a powerful reminder that we must do better. We must create a world where victims of SA are not only heard, but are believed, supported, and fought for. We must demand accountability from our institutions, and we must break the cycle of silence that has protected abusers for far too long. If you are watching this and have experienced something similar, please know that you are not alone. This is a developing story, and we will keep you updated, so make sure to subscribe.
Hi guys, it's me. I just wanted to come on here and say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support that I received on my last video. It was very difficult to share that, and the support has been so lovely. I posted it fully expecting to see backlash and people not believing me, and I guess that's just the trauma from how it happened for me the first time. So seeing all your support has been really just validating for me, and I really appreciate it. There are a few things that I would like to address. First being that Bethesda Baptist Church, where Brandon has been teaching, released a statement. I'm going to insert it here so that you guys can read it. The church itself has never responded to me or reached out to me personally, so I've never talked to anybody from this church, though I did email them and tell them my story. So all I know is what they've said publicly. I guess the statement speaks for itself. So that's really all I have to say about that. Second, I've seen a lot in my comments people asking me, well, where were the elders of the church? Where were your parents? And I just want to go ahead and say that my main focus of this video is to talk about the abuse perpetuated by Brandon and Brandon only. I was definitely failed by some of the adults in my life, especially the elders at Koinonia Reformed Baptist Church, where the abuse occurred. However, I don't want to place any blame on them right now because, first of all, I do believe that they were manipulated by Brandon too, and second of all, they did take the actions of firing him and they have been remorseful. When it comes to my parents are my biggest supporter. You might have seen my mom commenting in my last video. They would do anything for me, and they helped me so much through this situation. I mean, a year of my life where I just cried to them every single night going through this. They have done so much for me, and yes, they made mistakes along the way, but I do believe that Brandon really manipulated them too, and he really latched on to our entire family, and I think that we were all victims of this. One thing that I want to make very clear is that my relationship with God is still a big part of my life. The Lord has really sustained me through all of this, and He is the one giving me the strength to speak out. I will say that my relationship with the church is probably forever changed, and it is difficult for me to be part of a church because at times it can be very triggering, but I'm doing my best and I'm trying to work through it. I have received so many DMs, so many comments, and I appreciate every single one of them. So the people telling me their stories, my heart breaks for you. I see you and I hear you, and I appreciate you sharing those things with me. I would love to be an advocate for us, for all of us who have been through these things. If you guys have any questions of how I've dealt with it, obviously it's not been an easy journey and I'm nowhere near perfect, but I would love to continue to speak out and to be an advocate for us because I know how difficult this is, so I would love to speak for the people who feel that they can. So once again, thank you guys so much for all the support. I can't put into words how much this means to me. I am never going to stop talking about this. This is something that's very close to my heart. Mental health and healing is one of my biggest priorities, and again, the Lord has really helped me do that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, I would love to hear them, and I will do my best to answer everything. Thank you guys again for everything, and I appreciate it so much. I love you guys.